Let's talk about this Strait of Hormuz. I mean, when it comes to the global flow of oil, there's just nothing else like it. It's the single most critical shipping lane on the entire planet. And right now, Iran has shut it down. This is a huge deal, and it's creating a crisis with ripples that are going to be felt everywhere. So what does this shutdown actually mean for all of us?
Okay, to really get the scale of this, you just need one number, 20%. Think about that. This one tiny choke point handles a full fifth of the entire world's daily oil supply. Yeah, everything from the gas in your car to the fuel in airplanes relies on this one little stretch of water staying open.
And that brings us right to the central question, doesn't it? The one that world leaders and economists are absolutely scrambling to answer right now. What happens when that flow suddenly just stops?
To really wrap our heads around this, we need to look at the sheer volume of what we're talking about here. Calling it a shipping lane almost doesn't do it justice. It's really the world's oil artery. Okay, get this. Every single day last year, about 20 million barrels of oil passed through the Strait of Hormuz. You've got major producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE. They all depend on it to get their oil out to the rest of the world. For them, it's simple. No strait means no business, period.
And when you add all that up, you get a number that is just staggering. We're talking over $500 billion in energy trade every single year. The economic stakes here are they're immense. So, you might be wondering, how can one country just decide to close it? Well, this isn't some polite disagreement or negotiation. This is a shutdown by force.
The directive from Iran is crystal clear, and honestly, it's pretty chilling. They've vowed to attack any ship that even tries to pass through. In fact, Iranian media is reporting that authorities have been ordered to set vessels on fire. It's a direct threat that's brought all traffic to a screeching halt. But legally, how is this even possible?
Well, this is where we get into a really complex legal gray area. See, the strait is so narrow that it falls entirely within the territorial waters of Iran and Oman. So on the surface, you'd think, okay, they control it. Except, it's not quite that simple. There's this core principle of international law made specifically for straits like this one. It guarantees the right of passage for all ships, a right that shall not be impeded. So what Iran is doing? Strictly speaking, it's illegal.
And this quote right here really gets to the heart of the matter. This isn't about legal arguments in some courtroom. It's about who has the military power to make passage unsafe. So the crucial point to remember is, this standoff is being dictated by force, not by law.
Okay, so let's connect the dots here. Because this crisis that feels so far away, it has a very direct, very personal impact on all of us. And you're going to feel it every single time you go to fill up your car.
See, the global oil market is completely interconnected. It really doesn't matter that some countries, like the US and Canada, are huge oil producers themselves. When 20% of the world's supply is suddenly at risk, the global price goes up for everyone, everywhere.
And this is a perfect way to think about it. Rising gas prices act just like a sudden big tax hike. It just sucks money right out of your wallet and out of the whole economy, leaving less for everything else, from groceries to savings.
And here's the thing. Unlike a lot of other goods, you can't just find an easy substitute for gasoline, right? If the price of chicken gets too high, you can switch to beef. But most of us, we still have to drive to work, no matter what the price is at the pump. It's a cost you just can't avoid.
So if this is such a massive crisis, you'd expect prices to be absolutely skyrocketing, right? But they're not. Well, it turns out the world economy has a few built-in safety features that are, at least for now, keeping the panic from setting in.
Just take a look at this chart. You see that little price bump from this crisis? It's tiny compared to that massive surge we saw after the invasion of Ukraine back in 2022. It's even smaller than spikes from other recent events. So the market is definitely reacting, but it's not panicking.
And this really gets to the psychology of it all. The traders, the people who are actually setting the price, they're basically placing a bet. And right now, their bet is that this whole shutdown is going to get resolved pretty quickly, before a real supply crunch can hit.
So why are they so calm? Well, it really comes down to three key things. First, the US has become the world's #1 oil producer, which provides a lot of spare capacity. Second, countries are sitting on these huge strategic petroleum reserves. That's basically government-controlled stockpiles for emergencies, and they haven't even had to touch them yet. And finally, global demand for oil just isn't growing all that fast right now. You put all that together and you've got a pretty vital safety cushion.
But even with that cushion, ships are not moving. And the reason why is probably not what you'd expect. The immediate obstacle isn't military at all. You'd think the fear of missiles or maybe sea mines is what's keeping over 100 tankers just sitting out there at sea, but the actual reason? Well, it's a lot more bureaucratic.
That's right. The single biggest thing stopping the flow of oil right now is good old-fashioned insurance.
See, because of the threat, insurance companies have been rapidly scaling back or just flat out canceling policies for any ship trying to go through the Strait. And think about it. When a single tanker is carrying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of cargo, no company is willing to take that kind of uninsured risk. It's a powerful reminder that in our modern world, a few financial decisions can actually have a more immediate impact than a whole fleet of warships.
And that leaves the entire global economy in this weird state of suspended animation. The military threats are very real, the economic impact is building, and this whole insurance problem has created total gridlock. It's an uncertain waiting game.
Right now, it feels like the entire global economy is just holding its breath. No one knows how long this is going to last. It could all wrap up in a few days, or it could drag on for weeks, potentially triggering a much wider economic crisis. The world's oil artery is clogged, and for now, everybody is just waiting. The only question is, for how long can we afford to hold our breath?